Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Actually, last week on Saturday, I think you weren't there, but we have a lesson on the object predominance condition. But somehow the devotee they do not understand clearly because we have some Thai time, and that's why I would like to explain in more detail for today's lesson. Actually, one devotee from Vietnam, she asked that in the lesson I tell that when you do the wholesome deed like that Sunday, you do the Katina offerings, monk robe offering ceremony. That's a great a wholesome deed. But she said that yeah, it's a great wholesome deed, and after she done that, she can tell to everyone, isn't it unwholesome? Because in the lesson I remind them not to do that in a specific situation. And she cannot understand why it become unwholesome. Well, it depends on her purpose to tell others about her meritorious deed, to let everybody know about that and they happy, they rejoice with her, or to show up her what she have done. So the mind is the important things in that situation. That's why. So we go to detail into the lesson. So talk about the predominance condition. To talk about the predominance condition, there are two kinds: the object predominant condition and the connaissance predominance condition. So first we talk about the object predominance condition. So what is called the object? So whatever your sense take into your mind, it is the object. And it is the object predominance when it is attractive to your mind. Whatever is the most agreeable, the most lovable, most pleasing, most esteemed to yourself. So it is that object is called the object predominance. And so we have here the sentence it's taken in the Patana that any state, the state, or even is the consciousness or mental factors arise, it based on whichever. So that one is become the predominance condition, become the predominance for those consciousness and mental factors. So based on that, we know that some kind of mind, some kind of state of mind cannot be predominant condition like the angry mind, because the angry mind reject the object, or the delusion mind, it because it's delusion, it does not know clearly what happened, so it cannot be the predominance. So the naturally the mind have the nature to stick to the object. So whatever object it come, it will stick to it and process it. And the predominance here, by the meaning of overcoming of the dominance, like master to others, control others. So we have the example here. The predominance things is like the overlord, and the others like servant, follow the overlord. So how can we apply in the daily activity? The faulty state, the unwholesome state of mind can relate to faulty state or unwholesome state of mind by predominant condition. How could it happen? I have the picture of the robber, a thief. So the robbing or taking other property without permission is unwholesome deed. And when he do that, after he doing that, he think about that and he happy because he take someone property, or he think that it is right, it is not wrong. That is wrong view. So the first deed he do is unwholesome one, but it relate to the other unwholesome by thinking that this is right, or he happy by doing unwholesome deed. So that is the first one. First fire relate to another fire by predominant condition. So the second one is the one I talked in the previous lesson. When we do the cutting out rope offering ceremony, it's a great wholesome deed. It's a great wholesome deed. But the people who after doing that, they tell to everyone that I am the donor, I'm the big donor, I am this, I am that. So because of that, it changed, it relate to another kind mental state of mind arise in them, and it is not wholesome anymore. It become unwholesome because they arrogant, because of their arrogance. So a wholesome deed can relate to wholesome state of mind can relate to unwholesome state of mind by predominant condition. The third one is where is it now? The state of third one is the state of mind that called intermediate state of mind. Intermediate here refers to the state that not wholesome or not unwholesome. Is the resolved mind. So wherever object receive into your through sense door to your mind, it is called the state called intermediate. It doesn't have the nature of wholesome or unwholesome. It just receives the object inside. But after that, your mind processes and choose to like it or dislike it. So first one is normal, is not wholesome or wholesome. But after you take into your mind, you like it, you attach to it, it's become unwholesome, or you feel peaceful, your mind calm down. So it's the wholesome one. So last time we have a discussion, Dhamma discussion in our temple, and one lady, she gave the example of the person who practiced vipassana meditation. That so we try to practice just like camera, just put there and not taking any photo, but that is not true. The thing is, if we practice meditation, we still like the camera, taking the picture. But after that, what we do with that picture is the more important. That's meditation focused on. So when we take the object into your mind, then how you process it, you like it, you dislike it, you get angry with that, you attach to that, or you just keep your mind calm and peaceful, not to let any agitation in your mind. So that's to apply in your practice meditation. And wholesome deed, wholesome state of mind can relate to wholesome state of mind by predominance condition, by object predominance condition. How to understand that? Just like the person who do good deed, like offering food to the monks, or do the charity, or help other person. So after doing that, they go back home and think back what they have done, and they feel happy with that. And they know that this is the good deed and will yield good result. So first one, they do it, and then lately they think about it, they're happy with it, they rejoice it. So it is called the wholesome deed relate to the wholesome state of mind, relate to wholesome state of mind by predominant condition. And the last one, the intermediate state of mind can relate to the wholesome state of mind by predominant condition. It just refers to the state of the noble person. So intermediate state of mind here refer to Nibbana, the true blissful that we try to attain in Buddhism. That's our goal. So intermediate state of mind here in Nibbana means free from agitation, free from defilement, free from attachment, from lust, whatever that defile your mind. So it can it can relate to the wholesome state of mind. Refer to the state of the noble person that when they look at how peaceful they attained in when they join to the stream of nibbana, the stream of enlightenment, how peaceful it is, and they happy with it, they rejoice it. So that is the intermediate state of mind can relate to the wholesome state of mind. So that is the first one, object predominant condition. The second one is connection predominant condition. So it is talk about four things. First is intention or desire to do. Second is mind or will. Third one is energy or effort. Fourth one is reason or investigation. We have here predominant desire, predominant effort, predominant consciousness, and predominant investigation, investigating wisdom. There are four things. So how to understand that? So when a state of mind arises, there are several things arise together. It's just not one thing we call mind, but inside that mind there are several things, and in those there's no group of mind like that. So which one is dominant? Which one is a leader of the others? We call it predominance. Predominance to control, to rule other. We have the example of the king. So there was a king, universal king, because of his power. So he can rule others, citizen, other in the whole area. So other person need to listen to him, do whatever he wants. So in the same way, the predominant desire, the predominant effort, predominant consciousness, or predominant investigating wisdom can rule over state of mind when they arise together. So connection in this sense is a rule over the state of mind that arise together. So how can we apply in daily practice? Oops, sorry, what happened? As you know that we have four of them. First one is talk about the predominant desire. So there are okay, there are a person who have strong desire. Desire here not refer to good or bad. Okay, so who have a strong desire, who want to do that, and even there's a big job or a different or difficult job, but he still want to do it. He will. If the person who have less desire to do that, who doesn't want to do that really, so when he see a big job or difficult job, he will say, I don't want to do that, or it is out of my ability, and he try to run away from that. But if the person who willing to do that, who have the desire to do that, so he will try as much as he can, even that the job is really difficult, it take a long time and take a lot and make himself suffer a lot, but he try to do it. So that is the first case of the person who have the predominant desire. The second case of the person who have the predominant effort. So when a person who face difficult job or a job that take a long time, if he have less the effort, so he will try to run away from that. Because he know that if I continue to do this job, there's a lot of suffering for my body, and take a lot of time. I don't want to do that. But for the person who have a lot of effort, who have efforts at his predominance, so he will try hard to do that. He will try to do that immediately, stand up and do it immediately. He not feel like it take a long time, I need to rest or whatever. He try to do that as soon as possible. So I have the picture of the person who doesn't have enough limbs, and their life is miserable, if more miserable if they just give up and don't try to continue their life. And for the first person, predominant desire, I use the picture of the person who tried to clean the toilet. The cleaning the toilet is the job that really smelly, and if the person who don't want to do that, they try to give many reasons to stop doing that. But if you have the desire to clean the toilet, to make everybody feel comfortable to use that, so you will try hard to do, even how hard it is. So the third one is predominant consciousness. So predominant consciousness, if the person who have the feeble, who have the weak mind, they will turn away when they see the great task, the great job they need to do, and then they never want to think about that again. But the person who have strong-minded person, who is the strong-minded person, who have the predominant consciousness, even the job is quite hard, quite difficult, take a long time, a lot of bodily pain, mental pain come to him, but he will do it when he and try to finish as soon as possible, just like the person who have desire. And the fourth one is the person who concerned about the wisdom. So when the unintelligent one and unintelligent person confront a difficult task or take a long time task, they try to be blinded from those tasks. They don't want to know how it begin, how it start, how it going on, how it stop, how it going to end. And just like they stay in the dark. But the person who is smart person, they will know, they will want to do the task, even it's difficult, even it take a long time, and they will know how it start, how it ends, how it bring benefit to them, how it give them the result. And when they try to doing that, even there are some difficulty come to them, even it take a long time, but they never give up, and they try to finish it, and they receive the result with happiness. So this is the person with wisdom, similar to the one who have the effort. So in these four, first, I didn't talk about the wholesome deed or unwholesome deed, because the person who have strong desire, it can be the one who do wholesome deed, and it can be the one who do unwholesome deed too. For example, a robber, a thief, they have strong desire to rob others' house, to take others' property. They will try hard to do that, even it take long time to wait outside of the house to know what is the correct time, or it's difficult for them. They will face a lot of bodily pain and mental pain, but they try to do that because they have strong desire. But it can also apply to the person who practice meditation. if you want to practice meditation, if you want to attain a kind of place of your mind, you will try hard. You will, because you know uh, what you want to do. So you will try hard. You don't give up easily. The same thing can happen to the predominant effort and predominant consciousness. But for wisdom is different, because wisdom always for the person who have the wholesome mind. So to talk about the predominant condition, so the wholesome state of mind can relate to the wholesome state of mind by the connaissance predominant condition, because the wholesome state in the state of mind, in the wholesome state of mind arise, there are several of them, and this one will support another one to arise. The same thing happened to the unwholesome state of mind too. The other one relate to the other one and help them arise together. And before we finish, I like to give a story. I've shared a story in the Vimanawatu. It tells a story of a person who take care of the garden of the king. So in the time of the Buddha, there was a king called Bimbisara, and he loves to eat mango. But during that time, it's not the right time for the mango to ripen the fruit. So, but the gardener, he received order from the king. So he tried hard to make the mango give the fruit. So after he got four mango fruit, so he think that to bring to the king. But before he bring to the king, he saw a monk go pass by, go arms around, and he thought that if I give it to the king right now, the benefit I receive from the king, it would not big enough like I offer to that monk, because when I offer to that monk, I will get benefit not in this life but in the next life, because good wholesome deed will yield good consequences. So he decided to offer to the monk, and he also report the king, let the king know what he did. And when the king he heard about that, luckily for him, King Bimbisara is a good king. He's a noble person who practiced diligently the Buddhist teaching. So he let other people to investigate what happened. And when the monk he received the four fruits offered by the gardener, he brought back to offer to the Buddha, and then the Buddha shared to other monks. That's why the king really happy and called the gardener come and reward him with a lot, and ask for one exchange, that he will share the merit for him, exchange other reward for sharing the merit. And after that, the gardener live a good life, enjoy their life, luxury life, and after that he will reborn in the Tavatimsa heaven, in a big mansion. So today's lesson, predominant condition. There are two kinds: the object predominant condition and connaissance predominant condition. So for the object predominant condition, whatever object that is lovable, that's the most lovable, that's the most agreeable, it can attach to your mind, and that can lead you to another thing. If it is a wholesome one, it can help you, it can drag you down to the unwholesome state of mind. But if it is a wholesome state of mind, it can bring up another wholesome state of mind. But be careful not to let wholesome state of mind drag you down to an unwholesome state of mind. Just like the person who be a big donor, then arrogant, then tell other people with the thinking that everybody should know me how big I am. And the second one, coordination predominant, we talk about the desire, the effort, the consciousness, and the intelligence, wisdom. So when we practice the teaching of the Buddha, somehow we will face difficulties in a practice in a long path. But if we have strong desire, strong effort, strong consciousness, and good wisdom, it will lead us to continue to practice until we attain the true place of Nibbana. So thank you for your listening.
Okay, discussing time. When we learn this today's lesson about the predominant, we need to understand why is this so important. So basically, as you know, that if something is so vivid, so impressive, whether good or bad, you tend to remember much longer and have a strong desire to do things. One thing that lead to another. So predominant here is very important. If you're still alive, the predominant condition will drive you or motivate you to do, for the next step, to do something next, whether wholesome or unwholesome. But if as the deathbed time, at the time of the last breath of your life, the predominant condition, a predominant object could actually help you to, if it's a good condition, it could help you to be reborn in a happy realm. Vice versa, if it's a bad condition, it could drag you down to the woeful realm. So that's why it's very important. In this case, the predominant condition, like one strong wholesome deed or big wholesome deed that you perform, that lead to a very happy mind, right? Because you do some good deed, very important, that lead to a very happy mind. And this happy mind will also help you to do something more wholesome or wholesome mind in the next step. Vice versa, if it's unwholesome. And the stronger if it's a wholesome, it's a good condition, you do with a happy mind, with wisdom, you must result a lot of results. And the result, like the happiness, the wealth, or the fame, or whatever, that depends on the thing that you do. Vice versa, if it's unwholesome condition. So in this lesson, it's important in that way, because in Buddhism we believe in cause and effect. We believe in everything happen because of the condition. It doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen because someone make it happen. Like someone with the mighty power can create it and make it happen. But it happened naturally because of the condition. If missing a condition, thing won't happen. That is important of today's lesson. So, do you have any question based on today's lesson that you could actually think of? Yes, go ahead. You're the only English. Because of you, we have English session today. Otherwise, we have other English devotee that waiting to listen to the English part, but no English devotee, we have no English session. So,
I don't have any questions. I thought it was a very good lesson. This is the first time I've heard of the phrase predominance.
Yeah. Like in the situation, the good condition, like last week with the Katina rope ceremony, we have the main donor who traveled all the way from California, went through a lot of obstacles to get this wholesome deed done, and that's yield great result. But because of this condition, if you are not careful, you don't watch your mind, it could actually lead to condition you to do unwholesome deeds, such as because you did a good thing, and a lot of people look up to you and proud and inspired. But if you are not careful, your mind could, your mind could become defiled, like arrogance. When somebody praise you so much, you could actually become arrogant in terms of like, yeah, I'm a big donor. I know what I'm doing, and then you might look down on other people who doesn't, who don't understand what's going on and things like that. And that's because good condition lead you to do good thing, but it could also, because your mind usually, with defilement, it could lead you to do something unwholesome, like you look down on other people or be very arrogant. So that's also possible. So if it's happened, good condition eventually lead to bad condition. It defect your punya or marriage, or it's actually you commit an unwholesome act and face unwholesome consequence later. But if you are a very cautious person, always stay on the wholesome side, and you perform a wholesome deed, you be happy and humble, and then you feel happy that you have done something wholesome, something good, then it promotes you to do more wholesome in the future. So from wholesome condition, predominant wholesome condition, that drive you to do another wholesome condition and more wholesome and wholesome, and you get a whole lot result. So that's why it's very important that you have to watch your mind carefully. So one good thing lead to another good thing, but because of your mind get defiled, one good thing lead to another bad things. So that's why it's very important that you watch. And it's possible that good thing, but actually it turns sour. Another example is that when people heard about the teaching of the Buddha, they're very excited, very happy. They want to come to the temple to listen and do good deed and try to make merit or make punya. But when they come to the temple, and of course, nobody is noble, not everybody is great. There will be times that people get defiled, and then they may talk or act unwholesomely. So the person who excited to go to the temple to do good deed, but when they encounter someone who not happy or who's angry at the moment, say something negative, they could get angry and then do some bad thing to this person. So you have good condition to come to the temple to do good deed, but turn out you get stuck into a fight or something that is so bad, so unwholesome. So good deed could actually lead to another bad deed, that because of the defilement of the mind. So yeah, that's why it's very important that you have to be careful with your mind. Vice versa, if a robber come to the temple, because sometimes temple we have donation box, and sometimes some bad person who want to go to the temple, not to listen to the Buddha teaching or to do wholesome deed, they just come to rob the temple. But they can't rob the temple. They cannot steal money from the donation box. They have to wait until people to leave. So while waiting, they just sit there while there's Dhamma talks, or they just listen. So in the time, while waiting and while waiting for the Dhamma talk to finish, they listen to the Dhamma talk, and then somehow the Dhamma talk gave them, educate them that doing, stealing is bad and lead you to go to the wholesome woeful realm. Kind of wake up the robber, and he gave up the desire to rob the temple. Yeah, so it's switched. So he gave up the job of stealing other people's property, and from then on he become a good person. So initially he has a bad intention. He has an unwholesome intention to do something, but while waiting, it's completely turned around and become wholesome. So one unwholesome condition could actually lead to another wholesome condition. Depends on the mind of a person, because our mind is not always bad or not always good. So you have to be careful. It depends on the condition at the time. It can actually change the color of your mind. So that's why it's important to know correctly. Until later on, when you become a noble person, that you already convert to a noble person, then you will less likely that you have unwholesome thought like this. It's going to be more stable. But until then, your mind very wavery. You swing from bad, good, and bad at all time. So you have to watch your mind and act accordingly in order to guarantee that you do wholesome and have happy consequence. Yeah.
So say you are one of the big donors, and so how do you meditate on the fact that you've done something good, or like how do you get that wholesome karma as opposed to?
Of course, education is very important. First, you understand what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, and what makes to do, what lead to be wholesome. For the main donor, for example, they know that doing wholesome will lead to wholesome, doing wholesome deed will lead to wholesome consequence. So the wholesome consequence make them happy and better off in the next life. So they want to do this support by becoming the main donor, like offering robe to the monks. But then they did it, right? But then if they don't know much more, they might become arrogant when people come to them and praise them. And then they become arrogant, they become snobbish, so they act not wholesomely, so that leads them to face a lot of bad consequence. But if they know better, like today we learned this lesson, after you do wholesome deed, you have to stay calm and wholesome, so that way you won't be arrogant, right? But you won't be arrogant, but you feel very happy that you tap yourself on the back that you did wholesome deed, and this will yield to wholesome consequence, and you will be happier in the future. So that's how you should do it. So it's all about knowledge. It's all how you build it up by learning and how to do it correctly. Without this, without knowing this, your mind can actually sway back to your own habit driven by greed, anger, and delusion, the unwholesome mind. Okay, so education is very important. Yeah, you gotta learn.
Also, just so like when are you just using like the impression of the joy and feeling you get to carry you throughout the day, or else like you're just using like you don't exactly have to be like, oh, I did this and just think about that all day, but you just use the feeling and just kind of try to hold on to it.
It's natural when you do those. With the education that you learn, you know that wholesome deed will help you, promote you to be better in the future. That make you happy. But also, when you see other people receive the thing that you give or you do, make them happy, it also make you feel happy. That's nature. That's natural. It's like that. So you reap a lot of happy feeling in your mind, and you just have to maintain and realize it. Right? Just know that your mind very, very happy, very uplifting, right? Right.
About like, wait, I don't really feel anything. Like, should you try to think about like, what your attack or like how?
Well, you're talking about you keep thinking, recall that what wholesome people you have done.
Yeah, if you've done the wholesome deed, but you don't like if you've given someone that you don't really feel. Yeah.
Well, there's several ways. A lot of people who give something to the monk, but they feel indifferent about it. It's because they don't understand the consequence of it, or they just careless about it. But even you're not a Buddhist, but when you give someone something when they are in need, and then they got relief from this distress, aren't you feel happy or feel very uplifting that you have done something great for someone? See, that's natural, right? Unless you feel, you just don't feel anything. You just give and then don't think about it anymore. And it would be a diluted state in this case. We call indifferent. Indifferent is in the would be in the sense of, we call moha. Moha is like diluted, that you don't know any better. You just do for the heck of doing, and you don't know the consequence, and you don't care about how the other person receive what you give. So that's not a very recommend state of mind. But you should know, and you should pay attention that why did you give? You give because you want to relieve this person from the distress that he is or she in, right? And then when you see the distress got relieved, you feel happy. You feel happy when the other person happy too, right? And if it's like good cause and effect, then you're also happy that in the future you might fall into this situation. Someone will reach out and help you. So it's more like it's an investment, right? Like that. So you feel happy. You feel relieved that in the future, someone will reach out and help me if I fall into this situation. So that's called knowledge. That's called cause and effect, right? Unless you're a careless person, you don't care. You just, when you walk by, there's a beggar and he's in need of food or money, you just toss something out and then walks, continue to walk. You're like an indifferent person, a careless person. Yeah, but that's the state of mind not recommended. You need to be aware, and you need to have knowledge. Yeah, that's better for your life. Yeah. And in the Buddhism, we also believe in when you've done something good, the act already performed is good. It's recommended that you need to recall it. You need to recall that you have done something good, and then you feel happy about it. And every time you feel happy about the good deed that you had done, punya starts to generate more. And it's also something that help you. It's also recall the good thing that you did. And if you pass away or you die at that moment with a happy mind, with a wholesome mind, it will promote you to be born in the better being, in the better realm, a better being. And that's what we all want, don't we? Because in this life, whether you have a good life, you still want to be a better life in the future, right? Not mention about a miserable life in this life. You want to be free from this miserable life. So how you be reborn is depend on how you act and how you got yourself in that situation, that condition for you to be better in the future life. And this predominant condition is the essence. Because as you know, whatever is vivid can be recalled easier, right? And predominant condition is what we meant about the vivid image, that it can be recalled easier. That's what we call predominant. Yeah. Because a lot of people, besides thinking that our being is being created, in Buddhism, we believe there's a cycle of rebirth, and people got reborn because of the action that they committed will determine how they be reborn. And a lot of people don't know how they got reborn. They know that the karma, the action that they did lead them to be reborn in a certain way, but they don't know what kind of action that helped them to be reborn in the good state or bad state. So in this case, when you do wholesome deed with the predominant condition, it will promote you to be easily recalled and easily be reborn in the happy state if it's a good condition. Vice versa with bad condition. Like the robber, for example, he is so ecstatic when he can steal something from someone else's property. And being so ecstatic, he planned for the next move to steal, and that's unwholesome. And if he die thinking about stealing, remember the thing that he stole, then unwholesome, that could actually drag him down to the woeful realm easier, rather than kind of not remembering vividly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, correct. We're not quicker, but to the better state. Yeah, the person who be on the wholesome side, mostly, like majority or 90%, 90% of wholesome. So their mind can easily be wholesome at the time they die, because you train your mind to be on the wholesome side as much as possible. So whatever to at the time of deathbed, your mind still remain wholesome, calm and knowledgeable. And with calm and knowledge, it will help you to be reborn in the happy stage. But if you live your life very unwholesome, very chaotic, very confused, then when you die, it's also lead you to be chaotic at the time. And chaotic, confused mind will take you down to unwholesome, not wholesome, but woeful realm. That's important. Like a person who usually easily get angry, right? So one little thing can actually kick them off. But if you are a loving person, a little angry thing won't kick you off. A little bad mood, a bad word or bad treatment won't kick you off, because you very loving, you're very caring, like that.
So, as far as going in, like, because it says to not like strive for the higher realms. If you're like in the human realm, I believe it says like try, like those aren't good enough, and to try to escape samsara. So if you are in human realm, right? Like how should you just be practicing to try to escape samsara, or should you be trying to go to a higher realm in the meantime, or?
Well, strive to be better. Let's say that being human, you try to be a better human, right? In terms of the better condition of human, like be in the richer family, more intelligent, more beauty, things like that. So you gotta advance yourself, right? In the future, if you become human, you gotta be human, a high-end human, right? But if you try to be more than human in terms of heaven beings, then the material up there is more luxury, more available, without working to earn it. It's available for you to use. So before you break away from the cycle of rebirth, anywhere better than what you are here is recommended, whether you're in the human realm or in the heaven realm. The thing that you are encouraged to do is wisdom. Wherever realm you're in, you should be a wise person in terms of wholesome, right? Because this will promote you to be happy and advance yourself in the future, and eventually, ultimately, you break away from the cycle of rebirth. Make any sense? You got to advance yourself. So breaking away from the cycle of rebirth is not something that easy. It depends on how you practice. But anywhere is still better than in the poverty or thing that you're lacking, material or mental. Material is like poverty, mental is like you don't have wisdom. you got to be advance yourself materially and mentally as well, physically and mentally. So that's why we need to learn to build up this wisdom to guarantee a better life in the future, whether you're a human being or you are having been. Make any sense? So a lot of people, they do a lot of material, like generosity. They do a lot of giving, helping other. So they get reborn in heaven. They don't have to be Buddhist to be born in heaven. A lot of Christians be born in heaven. But then again, they have wrong view, right? Wrong view in terms of like you have the distorted view, and then you live a life of there. Eventually, they will be the end of it. They will be the end of the lifespan of there because everything is impermanent, right? Even though the heaven realm depend on the heaven that you're in, the lifespan up there is different. The lower realm of heaven is a shorter lifespan than the upper one, the higher one. But eventually it will come to an end. When it comes to an end, it's no guarantee where you will fall down. Right? And when you fall down to the wolf realm, then you suffer a whole lot more than the human realm. When you're in the human realm, without right view or knowledge, you could actually commit a lot of unwholesome act. And then this unwholesome act yield unwholesome result. Then the suffering start to catch up with you, and then you get stuck into it. Yeah.
The only the rightest view would be if you were to escape nirvana, samsara. That would be like the most correct view, right?
Well, right. You have different level of right view that you need to learn and then promote yourself. Right view is like you learn that there's a cause and effect. You learn that thing that happen because of the condition, so that way you don't feel disappointed when you don't get what you want, or the cause and effect that when you do something, you have to realize there's a consequences. So that way you can prevent the unwholesome act and promote the wholesome act so that you have punya or happy result. So those kind of right view. Then much more later on, you learn that this body is impermanent, that you need to you don't have to get attached to this. When you get old and you don't look as good as you were young, then you don't get disappointed and unhappy and miserable about it. Things like that called right view. On and on and on as you learn along the way. But sorry, I interrupt. But then again, ultimately, with the right view, you can break away the cycle of rebirth. That's the ultimate goal.
So you're just, as far as Eightfold Path, you're just practicing right everything, although you're just working on developing it deeper and deeper and deeper.
Depending on the level as you go along. It's like there's an understanding of the first grader, but we won't understand 6, 7, or college level. But you have to go up to second grade to understand. You advance yourself. It makes more sense when you advance yourself. But don't jump ahead of yourself. You don't make any sense. So I recommend that you take your time and learn as you go along. Then the answer will be given as you to yourself. You will find your own answer as you advance yourself, like that. The Eightfold Noble Path called the right of everything, right. It right mean that it's different from the distort view, and because it's not right, it leads to suffering. You got my point there, yeah.
That's what it's clarification.
Sure, you are encouraged to ask as many questions as you can, and you can also repeat the question as many as you can. Don't feel bad about it. I'm annoyed to it. When it comes to Buddhism, people need to clearly understand it to remove any confusion or anything that make no sense to them. But if it doesn't make any sense right now, just be patient. You need to build up this knowledge, wisdom, for you to understand later. Sure.
Asana meditation, as impermanence meditation. Are you just supposed to be coming up with like realizations of like the true nature of reality, or like is this supposed to be coming to you? Because that's kind of how I've been practicing. Like,
it will come to you.
Okay.
When you practice vipassana, insight meditation, it's more like you just sit there and observe and collect data. Okay? When you collect enough data, the answer will manifest itself. You don't have to search for it. Your job is to pay attention and pay attention. And as you pay attention, you are actually collecting the information that you are perceiving. Okay. Yeah, observing, understand what's going on. And then when the time comes, when you collect enough, because this has to do with wisdom. Wisdom is not something that you, different than the kind of thing that you do outside, like you learning, try to solve a math problem that you actually kind of squeeze your head and try to figure out what it is. It's different. In Vipassana, things that fall in naturally when you have enough condition. So when you practice insight meditation of Vipassana, you just observe, continually observe without any interrupting it. Observe, collecting the information. And then when the time comes, it's just brighten up. Just like when you try to light the candle, right? You try to light the candle. If you have enough light, the candle will start to lit up. But if it's not, you don't have enough, let's say the candle is wet or it doesn't have enough wax or flammable thing like that. So no matter how you try to, light up the candle, try all the effort, then the candle won't be lit. Make any sense? So when all the condition factor in, the candle will be lit. You cannot force it. Yeah, if let's say the candle is wet, and how much you force it to lit up, it won't. Like that. So wisdom in this case is not something that you force yourself. It's not that you sit there and try to squeeze your head and try to figure out what it is. The more you do it, the more you won't get it. So you relax, but be very persistent in terms of observing. Observing means aware of it. Makes sense? Yeah. And ultimately, the vipassana is to realize the impermanence of it. Impermanent of all things, inside your body and outside of your body. We call anicca. You have to realize experimental, the anicca. Dukkha. Anicca means impermanent. Dukkha means dissatisfaction or suffering. Yeah. Depend on the level. And anatta, non-self. Right? The non-self here, not just only within your mind, but the non-self also outside as well. Like things that you see around yourself. Like the tree, the nature, that there's non-self. Non-self in the sense that no one has the mighty power to create that it happen in their own ability. But it happens because of the condition factor in. That's called anatta, non-self. Okay, a lot of people say non-self is just have to do with me. There's no one here. There's emptiness. There's no one here. But everything else is different. No. Non-self within your mind and also outside your mind, which is the surrounding, like that. So the purpose of Vipassana is to realize the three characteristics: impermanent, or anicca. Dukkha means suffering or dissatisfaction. Anatta or non-self. Okay, so that's the ultimate. But you don't have to see all three characters altogether to get the realization. You see one, you will see all three. Okay, so there's no such a thing as you have to know all three. Just one is enough. Okay.
Can you provide just like a particularly memorable realization you've had during meditation, or just an example?
Yeah, I could tell you something, but it's also you gotta be careful with my monastic kind of. But for example, meditation could give you piti of rapture, or the joys that you uplifting joy that you feel in your body and your mind. You feel peaceful, you feel knowledgeable, you understand. You have wisdom, you understand the impermanent, how things happen in your body. So the understanding the impermanent, you build it up to the point that you will get enlightened to impermanent. But it's not like one of those things that you don't know anything, and then boom, one day you understand about impermanent, and then you get enlightened. You see the progress as it goes, but then again, not to the point that it breaks through. You see in the gradual process. You see, like I give you an example, pain. When you sit, you meditate, you experience pain. Yeah? Experience pain. And you will see pain doesn't stay with you forever. It will come and eventually dissipate, and then another one will rise, another pain will rise, and it will disappear. You see this in and even though you know that already, the pain doesn't stay with you forever. But a lot of people react strongly with the pain. And because of that, they feel very suffering. That's how you suffer with the pain, because you react strongly about it. You don't accept it. So there you go. The Buddha is saying that because of not accepting it, you cause more suffering to yourself. Where the pain is already you suffer. So you gradually learn this, and next time when pain arises, you don't react so strongly. You stay calm and then watch it. And then when you cease, you just know that it's gone.
Okay.
So that's kind of realization that you gradually would.
And you just, so after the realizations, you just accept them as part of reality to kind of
accept it. There's several kind of realization that you mentioned. Realization and kind of like enlightenment, or relationship that you understand this part of it. Right?
Like for us, we all know that pain doesn't stay with you forever. We all know that, whether you're Buddhist or not. But then again, you still react strongly about it when it rises, when it comes. And because of that, you suffer. You agree with me? Yeah. But now, be confident that the pain will cease, so stay calm.
Or faith, makes it.
Yeah, as time goes on, you keep on practicing it. As time you build up the confidence. Build up the confidence that when pain comes, you're ready to stay calm and accept the pain. And then your life will be less agitated and less suffering.
Because you cannot avoid pain. You cannot deny it. Yeah, you have this body, you will have pain. And then the mental pain also, like unhappy, thing like that. And that the unhappy mental pain will, the mental pain of unhappiness can be avoided, but not the body, like that. So eventually you learn, and then you can make your life a much, a better, much better. Make it. Okay? We'll build it up. We'll learn. Okay? I think we are past the session time. So now is the short chanting and saying merit of what we learned today.